Okay, today we are playing a game on Watchpoint Gibraltar. We are in the Gold SR range, and we'll be playing about half the game as Zarya and about half the game as Toes. We are also on the console today, so consider yourself forewarned. This is also pre-nerf. There you go, all the caveats out of the way. So, a lot of these videos came in one email, by the way. That's why there's been so many that have been pre-nerf. Please send more videos. So, attacking first, and we've just let our barrier break, which we don't want to let it happen. We don't want to let that happen, because once the barrier breaks, it goes on cooldown, and we can't use it, and we want to always have access to it. Even a 1 health barrier is going to stop an Earth Shatter or a self-destruct. So, May's jumped down here. May is very inconvenient for us as Toe. There's not a lot we can do to stop her. We do invite this on ourselves a little bit, though, by continuing to walk into May after she drops down. Because we could just now go, oh fuck, don't really want to get into a fight with May while this wall's in the way. But instead we keep walking downwards into the May. Just lost Rock Throw because we got frozen as well. If you're going to get frozen, you kind of just have to, like, take it, or you end up losing the cooldown on Rock Throw, so sometimes it's better to save it, wait till you've been frozen once, and then use it when you come out again, rather than risk it getting, like, taken away from you. But, you know, being frozen in general is pretty bad, so already things are not exactly going well for you by that point. Not much point in using Kinetic Grasp right here. It's kind of just Diva right now. There's only also Lucio over there. Yeah, you know, we're not going to be blocking any big damage coming in there. And the enemy team we can expect to try and funnel out of the doorway in the near future to try and touch the point before they lose it. So we could have our shield down during this section as well, because our shield's currently not really doing anything, and it's half health right now. It's, I think, in front of May's wall over there. Either way, not doing anything. Enemy team's over here right now, and our shield is, you know, we haven't repositioned our shield, even though we were looking at the entire enemy team for a while here as well. You know, ideally we put the shield right here. May's on us again right now. And, you know, the best you can do with May is pretty much barrier dance and hope for the best. So we decide to use Gravitic Flux right there. Their Lucio doesn't have Sound Barrier yet, so it ends up fucking up the enemy team pretty badly. Lucio ended up in a really unfortunate spot with his as well, where he's going to get slammed on the high ground. Our shield could be down right now. I know we're chasing after Mercy. Take it down, please, please. Please take the shield down. It's very easy to forget, you know, Toes' barrier. Because, especially since it's usually used similarly to an Arista's barrier, and then once you start moving around, you know, you start forgetting about it when you go off fighting the bad men, but we gotta take it down. Can't just, like, let our, like, 100 health barrier sit over there for, like, a minute, you know, just not doing anything. Not regenerating at the very least. So things are going well. Soldier's behind us right now. This is very inconvenient and concerning, because it is one of those situations where I don't really want to let him just sit back there. Quite frequently, if somebody's stuck on, like, the wrong side of your team, my stance on the matter is, whatever, leave the fucking guy to it. He's got to come to us sooner or later. The thing is that Soldier hasn't used his ultimate this entire time. He's got to have it by now, so you really don't want the guy back there. Fortunately, Junkrat dealt with the problem himself, so we didn't really have to worry about it too much, but if Junkrat didn't deal with it, I would have had to go, like, I would have had to have gone back to try and deal with him, because otherwise, if Tact Visor comes up behind us while we're in the middle of a team fight, that could end up being pretty bad. But we didn't have to worry about it, Junkrat took care of it for us. Barrier could be down right now, you know, it's mostly full health right now, but it could be full health right now. And Soldier's using Tact Visor. It would be better to just, like, put the shield in front of the guy. Now, granted, we can't move the shield immediately once we take it down. It's got a 1-second cooldown, which is enough for people to die. So this is where us having taken the shield down already, seeing as it doesn't need to be up over there, we'd have it ready to just shove in Soldier's face right now. And then Soldier's gonna do one thing after we put the shield in his face in this position. He'll jump down to try and get line of sight again on the bad man. And that's when we walk into his face with Kinetic Grasp and start just absorbing damage right then. Then when Kinetic Grasp ends, he'll have a little bit of attack visor going, but he'll still be shooting us because we've pushed ourselves bodily in him at that point. And then, hopefully, we could prevent Lucio from dying at all if, you know, this ideal world situation branches out. Otherwise, you know, he might just move along the high ground to try and, like, get vision around the barrier, but Soldier players don't do that. As soon as they lose line of sight because anything's in their way, their first thought is immediately jump into bad men, because then they can't hide from me anymore if I'm fucking touching them with my gun, can they? And you know, you got me, Soldier. I can't hide from you now. So, bad men, they got us. May's on our face. There's not a lot you can do about May being in your face as toes. The trick is basically to try and not let her get in your face to begin with. If she gets in your face, the best you can do is like barrier dance and try to hit her with your rock. That's it. People with beam weapons are very inconvenient for us as Sigma. It's like when the Zarya... I'd hate nothing more than playing against a Zarya as toes, because as soon as they lay eyes on you, they'll just come hell or high water. They'll march through your entire team to laser you to death. It's incredible how much they'll go for you when you're playing Sigma. Fucking Zarya players, man. They get to do like the most DPS in the game, and they think they can do it all. So we let our barrier break again. Again, don't want to let that happen. Want to always have access to it. Barrier also just wasn't really doing too terribly much up until that point, because we were still waiting for our team to like regroup a little bit behind us. We didn't need to put it up as early as we did either. Here, we're just kind of standing out in the open, which is real bad if your barrier gets taken away from you, because suddenly we're out in open space, and we got a long way to go to cover. We just get minced. You gotta think about what cover you're gonna use. Even if you're playing a tank, you've still gotta think about and play around cover. Because if you don't, and you get caught in the open, don't matter if you're a big boy, you're gonna get fucking murdered. So anyway, fight's still going well in our absence. We're able to just come back out here and regroup, march right through the barriers, throw a rock right in Zarya, Orissa's face. And then, you know, self-destruct gets us. This is a very bold play, but given that only really Orissa's around with Moira, I would have probably done the exact same thing. But it does lead to us taking a big chunk of damage during that as well. And, hey, self-destruct killed people, whatever. But, damn, she built Blizzard again? Holy shit, that was pretty fast. Well, she didn't really need to use Blizzard right there, so that's good news as far as I'm concerned. They had pretty much won the fight, so whatever they want to do. Shouldn't have our barrier up right now, really. Our team is still regrouping behind us. Orisa is apparently going to march forward anyway, but like, if she wants to use her barrier, let her, whatever. We still need to wait for our team to actually regroup behind us. We just let Junkrat die in front of us, you know, we got a while to wait yet. Don't bother doing this, just let Orisa's shield take the damage first, unless we're going to move forward right now. This is the way it goes with all barriers, where you want the less important barrier to take damage first. So, the most important barrier is Reinhardt's, because biggest health is physically the biggest, largest health pool, and you can be the most freely moved, so it's most important. Then it's Toes under that, still fairly easily moved, pretty decent health value as far as shield goes, you know. And then you got Orissa's barrier under that, 600 health, cooldown gated, not super important, and then Winston's. Actually, Winston's is like definitely below Orissa's still. It's just like, you know, their health pools are pretty comparable at this point, and Winston's is actually 360 degrees, so I was like, maybe Winston's is like as important now, but no, it's not. That's foolishness. But I was just like, there's not exactly much that Orissa's shield has going for it at this point over Winston's barrier. Isn't that a sad thought? So, anyway. Just let hers take the damage first. She can't move hers freely. Less important. That was very unfortunate, because I see the plan, but then we clip the wing on the payload, and it shunts the gravitic flux forward a little bit, so we end up not catching Moira as well. Honestly, probably wouldn't have caught Moira anyway. Fate is that way, but you know. So we're just being way too aggressive right now. We know that Orisa and Mei are right next to us there on the right side. And we keep marching forward into the enemy team all the same. Mei is at very least going to take umbrage with us doing this, and probably Orisa as well. We just can't run in that aggressively when those two people are next to us as well. We've got to worry about them, because we're not a dive tank or anything. We can't just ignore the front line and go straight to the back line. We gotta worry about that too. So, now, we've entered the Zarya segment. We don't change back to toes, I think, for the entire game now. So, all Zarya. People tell you that Zarya and Orisa isn't very good as far as tank combos go. A lot of people talk about it like it's on the same level as, like, Roadhog D.Va, which is not even remotely true, but, you know. It's fine, but it'll be a little bit harder for us to get charge off of the other tank when it's, well, Mei just lost her ultimate, how sad. It's a little harder to get charge off of the other tank if there's somebody like Orisa, but I mean, Orisa's still gonna get shot. So here, we're being, again, too aggro, where we've just strayed completely out into open space right now to try and, like, chew through this Moira right now. Moira will assume has Fade. We haven't seen her Fade. She's got to probably have Fade or be close to it right now. And we just go out into open space to start doing this. We don't even need to do that. We can stand behind the barrier and still have been shooting Moira from that position. But, like, we could just, like, be chewing on fucking D.Va, Baptiste, Orisa, whatever, from the shield over there and be doing this safer. Instead, we just cut across the entire open space in front of us and almost died for it. Didn't quite die, but very close to it, and we could have just been in that shield the entire time and not have risked the death, and still been doing everything that we were doing up until that point. So we died there. Hold on, I was not paying attention, to be honest with you. I'll just be perfectly honest with you, I was talking about something and not paying attention. So we munched through her real good, so we're just like running in real aggro right now, and basically, we're just, like, leaving our team behind. We're just, like, marching into them full on. There's not exactly a lot of cover up there, so I would have rather just been, like, chucking right-clicks at them while we hang out next to our team at the payload, because we're marching into a lot of people, and the enemy team will be respawning and coming back to greet us. Don't forget, there's gonna be a Mei back soon as well, so if we get walled off, doesn't matter if we're high energy, if we get walled off as in front of Mei and her team, we're gonna die, because we're gonna get frozen and bullied. Even if we got a personal bubble, it gives us a bit of breathing room, but, you know, if you're walled off, there's no guarantee that's gonna save you from Mei. So anyway, fight was still going well in our absence. We managed to get a little way to the end of the track, so hey, there you go, good stuff. So as you can see, the defending segment is significantly shorter than the attacking segment. It definitely doesn't look like we're going to play multiple rounds on this map, does it? Unless their first attack is a real clapper. I don't think it's actually mathematically possible for that to occur. There's absolutely no way. So, teammates standing up in bad position. Very classic maneuver, of course. We can stand up here for a little bit at least. We'll probably have to go join our team before too long, you know, such is life. Just realized I should have said this, so putting the shield on somebody before anything's really happening to them often results in sadness, because this gets us a little bit, because their Hanzo actually shot it, so great. What's usually gonna be better off, it'll at least always get you some charge, if nothing else, is if you wait for the person to start getting shot and then put the bubble on them. You can also do this for yourself, but it's a little easier with your personal barrier because you can always bubble yourself, walk across another person's line of fire, you know. But it's easier if you wait for the person to start taking damage and then bubble them, because then you're always going to get some charge out of it, because there's no way the other person is reacting frame one and stopping shots, right? So you'll always get some charge off of it at least. Whereas there, at that time, nothing was really happening to Orisa. She had already used Fortify as well, so, like, you know, she was pretty much gonna be fine. Usually people don't like to be shooting at the Orisa once they've used Fortify. Again, they're using it very preemptively, expecting damage to happen. Using the bubble predictively, I'm not a big fan of it. I prefer to use it more reactively, wait for them to start taking damage. There, we should have definitely put the barrier on Moira while she was in front of us right there. We did have it, right? Yeah, we had it. Because, oh look, she's almost dead. And she's pretty far up. If somebody, like, looks like they might die from their position or their low health, hey, you know, you're not so much worried about getting charged at that point as you are just, like, trying not to let the person die. We probably didn't notice Moira, in all likelihood, but you gotta be ready, you gotta have your eyes open. Look at the whole screen, you know? So again, we're running up really aggro right now, and we're not even that far up. The thing is, we are still running into 4 people at half health. We have our bubble up right now, but that's it. It's not going to be there forever. Moira probably isn't fully back yet. She's probably getting close at this point, but that's a very risky thing to do in front of the enemy team like that. Now, Reaper comes up behind them as well. They don't actually focus us. Hooray, good for us. But at half health, moving up that aggressively is pretty scary when you're looking at that many bad men. So as we can see, things are still going very well, though. It's not worth complaining about. I was gonna nitpick, like, using the right clicks when they're unlikely to hit anybody, but I mean, they're all dead, they're regrouping. Doesn't matter if we have to reload right now. Why do we bubble Orisa? I guess because she's not full health. To be honest with you, I can't really tell if she was full health or not, because the health bar is like... I can't read the health bar when it's against something like that. Oh, she is wounded right now. Okay. Fortunately, there's this nice spectator UI I can look at instead. I guess because she was wounded, we bubbled her. Whatever, we got some charge out of it, so... yeah. Who cares? So, here comes their Zarya. I wouldn't be... like, we started reloaded. Did we actually need to reload right there? Because I wouldn't have been bothered about just, like, chewing through Zarya's bubble right there to try and kill her. We did need to reload right there, so whatever. You don't have to respect the enemy Zarya's bubble if you can kill the person under the bubble. Killing people is always pretty sick. Doesn't matter if you give her a little bit of extra charge if she's dead, you know. But we had to reload, so whatever. So their soldier used Track Visor, didn't exactly gain much out of it. They used Amplification Matrix, didn't exactly gain a lot out of it. Things are going badly for them. Now, the principal issue that they're having right now is that they're not very skilled at this video game. But, you know, outside of that, the issue that they're currently having right now is they've got Diva Zarya as their combo of tanks, which is extremely bad for actually getting space. Having 2 off tanks as your tanks is extremely bad. Don't do it. Always have a main tank. At least one main tank. If the other one's a main tank as well, you know, that's the double shield comp, right? But whatever. Don't have 2 off tanks. It's very bad. It's making it very difficult for them to actually gain any space control right now. You know, if they could get control of the space with 2 off tanks, theoretically they'd be able to control the space really well, but they can't get control to begin with, so it doesn't really come into play. Nobody to make space, so therefore the people that can control the space don't have any space to take advantage of. Now, people have started getting picked off at this point. One of our boys changed to Torbjorn, which was, I mean, an interesting decision to make. I don't even know where Torbjorn died. At this point, we're just, like, getting chewed pretty bad. So, the thing is here that we do get caught, like, at the bottom of this ditch, which is bad, because now we have to take, like, this entire path up before we can start getting to cover. The best thing we could do right now, because we are staring at the entire enemy team, from this position is keep backing up, like, hugging the left-hand wall, and just keep backing up, because as soon as we get to the top of the ditch, we can then try and break around the corner and get out of line of sight of the enemy team. Instead, we stray out into the middle a little bit again, and then try to go up to the rank to the left, but then we have to cover more distance again. Given we're looking at the whole team, best thing we could do, be thinking a bit ahead. I want to get out of line of sight, gotta hug the left-hand side, because that's the closest place I can get to break line of sight. But that's just why fighting in the bottom of the ditch is not really recommended, because then, if something bad starts happening to you, you have to go all the way up the ramp again before you can actually get to safety. Sometimes you can break into this room over here and get out like that, but that's not exactly guaranteed either, so that's why fighting at the top of the ramp is more recommended, but, you know, our team was standing in some not recommended places at the very start of the round, so what can you do? Be sad is more or less the answer. But hey, look at that. Doesn't matter. Fight went well without us anyway. Video sure is stuttering a lot right now. Isn't it? Great job, YouTube. But we won the round, and it was pretty easy. Don't get punished, don't have to learn. That's what I always say. So what we got today back here? We got, what's this? Difficulty in video games? Video game donkey? I don't really like donkey that much, to be honest with you. Jim Sterling's great, highly recommend. Art stuff, very furry looking thumbnail. I know why it's there, trying to learn to draw. Talk about all these other people like regularly. What's this? Why Resident Evil 0 just misses the mark. Resident Evil 0 is a very good video game, thank you very much. Billy motherfucking Cohen and Rebecca Chambers. That's a good game. You get to play as Wesker as well. Good game, recommend. Big fan of Resident Evil, even though almost all of the games are objectively terrible. But they're also fantastic. It doesn't have to be good to be good. It's very paradoxical like that, I know. I like terrible media, in summation. So anyway, can't really think of, but I guess the thing that stood out the most is positioning stuff where we're like out in open space, not playing around cover, not thinking about cover. You have to think about cover even if you are playing a tank, because there's not always a shield in front of you. Sometimes you got no shield, and then a trusty wall is like a barrier that has infinite hit points. So think about cover, even when you're playing a tank. So, thank you very much for watching. If you did, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer. If you haven't already, you can join our Discord and ask questions more directly and have a conversation about them, or just shitpost with us. I start streaming on Twitch Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 8 PM EST till 11 EST. There's a link to the channel in the description. And if you managed to make it all the way through the video and somehow still enjoyed it, please like the video and subscribe for more content of middling quality in the future. And I hope you found the video helpful.